Whether you believe it or not, there's a market crash about to hit us. Interest rates are up, inflation is up, fuel is up, cost of living is up 47% in some European countries. Now the trend is whatever they experience, whatever North America experiences, comes to us. On today's episode, we're going to touch on what it actually takes for a company to make it through a market crash and excel during the and post market crash. We're about to launch a video in a couple of days where we show you detailed proof, concrete proof, why we say the market is about to crash. But that's coming in a week. On today's episode, we're going to dive through the 3 differences between companies that will make it and companies that will unfortunately be negatively affected. Thank you for spending your time with me, and let's get into it. Now, the success of any and every company on the planet is dependent on the leader as well as the leadership team that he or she surrounds themselves with. What you should be looking at if you are part of that team and you want to be successful post a market crash, potential market crash. I think it will crash, but let's call it a potential market crash. What you should be looking at is what is the leader's state of mind, number one, and what is the leadership team state of mind. Now, many times you will have a toxic leader that wants to steer the ship in a direction, but the culture is strong enough to pull it back and course correct him and show him that this is the way that we're going and not your way, because we might crash. But many times the leader is just a bully, and he doesn't care, doesn't take counsel, doesn't consider opinion, and just goes and crashes the ship. Now, let's get into what to look out for within a leadership team or a leader or driver of a company or a team which is going to negatively affect that company during a market correction. First of all, that person is a know-it-all. So a know-it-all is somebody that comes, presents, this is how we're going to do it, ignores any and all feedback, not interested in listening to other people's perspective, my way or the highway. That's the first telltale sign. The second telltale sign is they have a very laid back and relaxed attitude about themselves. So it's okay, the competitors are coming, but it's okay. We've been on top for a long time. Nothing can hurt us. They're very nonchalant, if you may use that word. They are completely submerged in the past, what we have achieved in the last year, 2, 5, 7 years, because the market's been phenomenal for the past 5 to 7 years. So a lot of people have made money that were potentially not supposed to make as much money. Now that it corrects, the real tough wartime leaders, the decision makers, the strategists will excel from the rest. One of my good friends always says, the next 18, 24 months will separate the boys from the men. The third thing that you should be looking out for is an attitude of, we are good enough. We are good enough. We've made it so far. Why won't we make it past this difficult time? If you find yourself in an environment where you constantly hear, we're good enough, don't worry, relax, we're good enough, we know what we're doing, we will make it. Be very fearful. Be very, very fearful, especially in this time coming up. Okay, great. If you don't find yourself in that type of a toxic environment, but you find yourself in this environment, so on the other side of the fence, these are some telltale signs. The leadership team and the leader on top barely thinks they know what they're doing. Like we're about to lose control. I don't know what's going on. I barely can keep it all together. I need constantly to ask for help, seek guidance, and just improve on my skills the whole time. Secondly, there's an urgency of developing processes and procedures. There's an urgency of developing themselves, and there's an urgency to achieve stuff, even if it's small stuff. It doesn't have to be big things, hit a record month. No, the urgency is, by this date, this is what we're going to do. By this date, this is where I want this next technology to be. By this date, this is how big or small or wide our team should be. So they're very, very urgent. And then lastly, they are constantly demanding for their teams to recreate themselves. Because what happens in a beautiful book that we've read, Barbarians to Bureaucrats, the problem happens when times are very good for a long time. You get relaxed and you don't reinvent yourselves. So technology comes, the internet comes. How many 50-watt-year-olds do you know out there that were absolute stone cold killers and that are doing very small things at the moment? They've got the potential to smash the market. They've got the potential to grow a massive following because they have the value. They simply chose not to reinvent themselves, adopt to the times and get on with life. You need to constantly be in a hurry to reinvent yourself. So if you are a version 0.01 at the time when you started the company, you should constantly be updating yourself as a version. So learn a new skill, whether it's TikTok, whether it's editing, whatever it is. You're constantly learning a new skill to make sure that your capacity, your value that you add to the market always exceeds the amount that you're getting paid. I hope this message finds you well. I hope you relate to what I'm saying, and I hope you have a look around at the company that you work for, at the team that you are currently leading or being led in, and maybe some of these tips can help you just get a new perspective and then pick it up. Buckle up, because it's going to be a rough ride. The next 18-24 months is really going to be tough. But I think if you are strategic and if you are a leader, you should make it fun and you'll be stronger coming out of it. Thank you for spending your time with me. Please, if you liked my video, leave us a message. Also do subscribe and ring the bell, and we'll be sharing our new content via the notifications. Take care and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.